You believe about the Godhead.
Trinitarians say three persons. To me, God is not three persons.
Why?
Well, because saying three persons is like there's three gods.
Why?
Because three persons is three different persons, correct?
What does it have to do with being in person? Because you're saying three persons, but God is unlike creation, right?
Correct. God is creator.
So if he's creator and he's infinitely complex, you're assuming that if God is three persons, that's three separate gods, just because you are using your frame of reference, meaning you're a human being, you're one person, I'm another person, so we're two human beings. But we're created, we're physical and finite. That doesn't necessarily apply to God. God is unlike creation. So how do you know the one God cannot be one God eternally existing as three persons?
I see God as God. When he appears, how does he appear?
Wait, so what do you mean appear? Like in Daniel 7, here we have two distinct figures. I beheld till the thrones, notice thrones plural, right?
Yes, sir.
Were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. So here's this figure called Ancient of Days, and he sat. And he appears visibly because he has a garment, whose garment was white as snow. And he has hair, and he has a head. Look, the hair of his head like the pure wool. It says his throne. So he only sits on one throne, right?
Correct.
But Daniel saw thrones, more than one. So whoever this figure is, he only sits on one throne. Now here, I'm going to show you who this figure is not in a minute, but pay attention. Daniel sees thrones. He sees this elderly figure. How do we know that? Because he's got white hair, who's wearing a white garment, and he's very old. He's called Ancient of Days, and he sits on a throne. Same chapter, Daniel 7, 13 and 14. Now you're going to do math for me. You're going to count for me. So it said thrones, right? Plural?
Yes.
So one of the thrones is occupied by who? It says Ancient of Days and his throne, right?
Yes.
But then if you read verse 10 carefully, everyone else is standing. They're not seated. Now watch here. I saw in the night visions, is Daniel 7, 13, 14. Same chapter. And behold, one like the Son of Man. Now here's another figure.
Yes.
Came with the clouds of heaven. But he came to who? Came to who?
Ancient of Days.
So they're not the same entity, right?
Understood.
And they brought him near him. So they're two, right?
Correct.
Now, who is the Son of Man? Well, he also rules, because it says it was given him, the Son of Man, dominion, glory, and a kingdom. So he's a king with a kingdom, which means he has a throne. That all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Now, I'm going to show you who that Son of Man is according to Jesus. Mark 14, 61, 62. But he held his peace and answered nothing. So far with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Again, the high priest asked him and said unto him, Art thou the Christ, the Son of the Blessed? Jesus said, I am. Now notice, you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of heaven. So Jesus said, he's the Son of Man that will come in the clouds of heaven. He's referring to Daniel 7, 13 and 14. So who's the Ancient of Days?
Well, that would be God Almighty, correct?
God the Father, right?
Okay.
Ancient of Days is God the Father, and he sits on the throne. And we're like the Son of Man who comes on the clouds, and he sits next to the Ancient of Days, so that's two.